Peace and light, family. I pray that you are well. So I wanted to record this video in honor of motherless children. This is our survival guide. This is our manual of how to make it through hard times and difficult moments, whether it's Mother's Day or it's just any moment where that feeling or that reminder that you don't have a mother in your life comes up. This is our survival guide. And when I say motherless children, I'm not only talking about youth and babies who don't have a mother in their life. This is for the teenagers. This is for the people in their 20s and 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s who still feel that aching feeling of being a motherless child. This is dedicated to anyone whose mother has passed on, and that's what's caused you to be a motherless child. Whether you don't know your mother, never knew her, and you grew up in the system, and that's why you're a motherless child. Or for those people like myself who your relationship with your mother may have dissipated due to it being an unhealthy or toxic relationship. Therefore, you had to release or, just make room for that relationship to dissipate to keep your mental wellness and to keep yourself spiritually and mentally healthy. This also is for you. So for anyone who is living through Mother's Day, living through life and surviving and desiring to thrive through this life experience as a motherless child, this is for us. Now, before I move forward, I just want to name that in the comments, please just be mindful of the things that you say. Be mindful of how you go about. I do understand that some people, they have lost their mother due to death and due to transitioning, and oftentimes they will urge people who may not have a relationship with their mother to reconnect and to do things like that. Please be mindful. Understand that we are all motherless children. Understand that the thing that you may be pushing them towards may be the very thing that could cause them to break. So just be mindful. And let's love on each other and let's hold on to each other and recognize that this is a universal experience. So first, I'll share a little bit of my story. I had growing up, I had my mother in my life for the most part. She was, I will say she did the best that she could with what she knew how. And in fact, that's what she would always say. She grew up being very much abused, and her father struggled with addiction. So she had a hard time growing up, and she kind of repeated that cycle. And she also struggled with severe mental illness. So growing up was very difficult. Growing up with her was very difficult. So as I moved into adulthood, the relationship didn't get any better, and it was just very unhealthy. So my relationship with my mother completely dissipated, completely dissolved when I was the age of 23. I'm now 29. So it has been 7 years since I haven't had my mother in my life completely. But even before that moment, I have grieved the loss of my mother because of the severity of experiences. I remember, receiving phone calls that my mom was dead, from neighbors finding her in the house and all kind of stuff. So having those experiences and growing up that way, you kind of grieve the loss of the idea of having a mother figure in your life, or your mother being that ideal mother figure. So not having any contact with my mother for a majority of my 20s, and understanding that feeling even before then of not having a healthy mother figure in my life, I had to grieve the loss of my mom at a very young age. And just growing up being a motherless child and understanding that feeling. So I'm sending love, I'm sending light, and I'm speaking as someone who, times like Mother's Day, a lot of people don't know or realize how hard that can be for someone who doesn't have a mother in their life. That is a time that everyone is honoring their mom, and everyone is posting pictures and videos and talking about how amazing their mother is. So it is kind of a reminder of what you don't have. I'm speaking to the motherless children in particular. I understand it's a reminder of what you don't have or what you may have missed out on. Also, even times where it's not Mother's Day can also be hard, where if you're anything like me in my friend circle, we're all in our late 20s, early 30s, and I have some friends who are in their 40s. And for years, I was the only person who was a motherless child in my friend circle. Even to this day, most of my friends either live with their mom, they work with their mom is in their life in some way, whether their mom keeps their children or whatever. Their mother is in their life and active and helping them make it through their 20s and 30s and 40s. And, just being surrounded by that group and being the only motherless child for years, the experience was not fully understood. So I didn't really feel like I could talk to anyone about it who would really understand my experience. Very recently, a couple of years ago, my friend, her mom passed away. And when her mom passed away, I was able to help her through her grieving process because I too had grieved my mother or the loss of my mother in my own way. So I was able to identify and connect with her in multiple ways. And she had a great mom in her life. And her and her mother had a great relationship and everything. But we still were able to connect through the grief process. So it's often, other than Mother's Day, there are also multiple times where you get that constant reminder that you are a motherless child or that your mother is not in your life, right? So this survival guide is not just for Mother's Day, although Mother's Day is what inspired me to create it because I know the feeling. But this survival guide and really this guide on how to thrive through those moments is for any moment where you are reminded that you don't have that mother in your life, because a mother provides nurturing, a mother provides caring, a mother is home cooked food, and a mother is a home to go to in hard times. And when you don't have a mother in your life, people who have that often don't realize what it is to not have that. They don't know what it's like to not have the home to go back to. And, when you are a motherless child, you don't have the place to go. There is no such thing as falling on bad luck because you better get up or what you gonna do. It's no such thing as being able to go back home because there is no home to go back to. So anytime where it's like difficult moments come up or you just want a home cooked meal or you want a place to call home, for the motherless children, that is a reminder of oftentimes what we don't have. And for years, I've had to work through moments of those feelings coming up, that longing, that hurt, that anger, the resentment coming up. And these are the steps that I take to thrive through those moments. And once again, with Mother's Day here and in front of us, it is a big, huge trigger for a lot of people who don't have good relationships with their mothers, or they're not in contact with their mother at all, or don't know who their mother is, or their mother has passed on. It's a huge trigger for motherless children. So these are the steps that I recommend on how to thrive through those moments. Step 1, grieve. Go through the grief process. Allow yourself to move through that grief process. Allow yourself to feel those feelings, feel that anger, feel that resentment, feel that denial, feel that longing, feel that hurt. Allow yourself to feel those feelings. Grieve the fact that you don't have that mother figure in your life. It's okay. Society puts a pressure on people to honor your mother, honor your mother. I don't care what she does to you, or I don't care what happens, honor your mother. And oftentimes it leaves a gap between the honoring and the grief process. And you feel like you have to skip over the grief process to get to the honoring. Even if your mother transitioned, it's oftentimes where it's like, just be grateful that you have her, be thankful for her, honor her, but you still got to grieve that loss of that mother that you had and no longer have, So honor that grief process. Allow yourself to go through that grief process. Allow yourself to feel those feelings. It is okay. And also understand that even if no one else understands, there are other people out there who can connect with you and who feel those feelings too. So just allow yourself to feel that hurt, that anger, that resentment, that pain, that missing that mother figure. Allow yourself just to feel whatever it is. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to write, write. If you need to scream, scream. But feel and go through that grief process in the way that you need to do it. The second step that I would recommend is honor your mother for who she was and what she did for you. Now, I know a lot of people who may not have had the healthiest relationship with their mother, or their mother may not have been the best mother. Trust me, I understand. But when I say, and please take your time and really listen, When I say honor your mother for who she is and what she did for you, please understand that you were chosen. We all were chosen. Our mothers chose us. That moment that your mom found out she was pregnant with you, she had a choice. She could have gotten rid of you, or she kept you, or she could have kept you, and she chose to keep you. You know, if your mother was anything like my mother was a root working woman, so she could have gone to the clinic to get an abortion, but my mother also knew how to make up some herbs and make some stuff, and you drink it, and they say, you know, you pass that baby in the toilet. My mother would say, you just pass the baby on. So she knew how to mix up her own little stuff. She drank it down and she passed the baby. She had done it before multiple times for herself and other people. So she knew if she didn't want me, she could have gotten rid of me. And I know that, you know. So I was chosen. You were chosen. There's also a such thing as intentional abortion, which I could do a separate video on that, where you can literally meditate and think it through, and that baby will pass if you don't desire that spirit to manifest as a human child, as a flesh child in this realm. You can pass that baby through. So there's multiple ways that your mother could have gotten rid of you if she did not want you, but instead she chose you. You were a choice. Even if she regretted it later on, even if she wasn't there for you like that, or even if, you know, things just whatever, for whatever reason, didn't work out. In that moment, your mother chose to keep you. You were a choice in multiple ways, because God chose you, ancestors chose you, spirit chose you, and your mama chose you. So honor her and thank her for choosing you. Also, thank her for carrying you in her belly, in her womb. No matter what that experience was, your mother carried you for 10 months total. A lot of people think pregnancy is 9 months, but it's not. They still have to journey through that 9th month until they get to month 10. And usually between 42 weeks, a mother births a baby. She births you. So your mother carried you for almost 10 months or longer. Just be mindful and be grateful of that journey of her carrying you in her womb. Her womb was the first home that you know. It's the first home that held you close. So just the first home that nurtured you. So even if she never nurtured you through life, just know that she once upon a time nurtured you in her belly. So honor her and be grateful to her for that. Next, your mother labored. She labored with you. My mother did a natural birth. You know, your mother labored with you. She went through pain and hardship. And even if she didn't experience pain, regardless, her body stretched itself wide and open in order to be able to birth you. And then she birthed you. So honor her for the labor and the birthing process. And if your experience with your mother stopped right there, that is enough to say thank you. So honor your mother for choosing you, for carrying you, for laboring with you, and for birthing you into this world so that you may be here today. Once you honor her for that, you can also honor your mother. If your mother raised you, whether the experience was not good or if it was amazing, just dwell on the positives about the things that your mother did, or maybe some wisdom that she left you with. My mother was a very wisdomatic woman, so she was so filled with a lot of wisdom and a lot of gems. My mama was street smart, you know, so she gave me a lot of street knowledge. Most of my street knowledge I got from her, you know, so, and also a lot of herb work and stuff like that I got from her as well. So no matter what experience you may have had, there was some gems somewhere along the way, even if you learned what not to do. Honor her for teaching you what not to do. Even if you look at your mom's journey and you like, I don't never want to be like that. She taught you something. She taught you what you didn't want to be. So honor her and thank her for that. And then if you had a great mother, if you had a loving mother who nurtured you and cared for you, and she just was your ideal dream mom, and she transitioned on, honor your mom for that. So grieve the loss, grieve the idea that your mother is no longer here in the flesh, but also as you go through that grieving process, honor your mother for who and what she was in the process of choosing you and birthing you and raising you and teaching you what she did teach you. So step 2, honor your mother. Now, step 3. After you honor your mother, you need to honor your mamas. And let me explain what I mean when I say mamas, right? In life, we are all blessed with mamas. We are all blessed with multiple mother figures. There are times where it could be a stranger, it may be a teacher, a professor, it may be a friend's mother, it may be a random elder on your block, a neighbor, it may be, anybody who has ever came and they've mothered you, they've nurtured you, they've taught you, they held you. That is a mama. And I had to learn that lesson. I remember one day I was standing at the bus stop and it was raining outside, and my mother used to love the rain. So every time it rains real heavy, my mother crosses my mind. So I was standing at the bus stop. It was raining outside. I didn't have an umbrella or nothing. So I went and sat under an awning until the bus bent the corner. And I remember just sitting there and I was thinking about my mama. And the bus bent the corner and I stepped out from under the awning to wait for the bus to come. And it seemed like everything just happened in slow motion. And as I'm standing there waiting for the bus to come down the street, I'm just getting wet. Like the rain is pouring over my face. I could feel it dripping down. And all of a sudden, this beautiful scarlet red shadow just came over me. And I looked up and it was the most beautiful, small scarlet red umbrella. So I looked to my left and I looked down. And next to me, there's this beautiful brown-skinned sister, beautiful white short cut tight curls, like she just left the salon. She was dressed in a scarlet red trench coat, and that sister was holding her umbrella up over me, elderly woman. And I was like, oh, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. I was like, I don't want you to mess up your hair. You got to cover yourself up. And she said, baby, I can't let my baby get wet out here. Get up under this umbrella. And I was like, but ma'am, your hair. She was like, no, baby, I cannot let my baby get wet. She said, I'm your mama. Mama's like everywhere, baby. I can't have my baby out here getting wet. Baby, get under this umbrella. I got you. And that little lady had her arms stretched up and was holding that umbrella over me. In that moment, I was being nurtured. I was being cared for. This is a stranger. I did not know this woman. And she came and she put that umbrella over me and reminded me that mamas are everywhere. So as we both got on the bus, all I could think of was every mama that had ever crossed my path. Whether if it was my mama's friend's mama, shout out to Missy Lane. Whether if it was, shout out to Nana. Whether if it was one of my friends' mothers, shout out to my friend Keyshawn mama, who used to make blueberry muffins when we didn't have nothing to eat in my house, and she would invite me over for lunch when I was little. Regardless if it was a stranger, if it was a teacher, Miss Mason, a professor, Dr. Dorothy Gardner, in adulthood, still my friend's mother, shout out to Mama Sheila, mamas me and nurtures me and cares for me and gives me mama wisdom. So think about those mamas you have had in your life. Think about those strangers who have put that umbrella over you or told you that word of wisdom. Think about that friend's mama who used to feed you as a child. Think about that professor or that teacher who just dropped the gem on you and mothered you and nurtured you. Think about that mother-in-law. Think about that older sister-in-law, that older cousin, or that auntie. Shout out to my auntie, who just mothers you. And that's your mama. Those are your mamas. So even though you may not have your fleshly mother, you have mamas. We all have mamas. And just honor those mamas. Honor the mamas in your life. Honor the people whose feet you have set under their table, the people who have spiritually fed you and helped you tap into your divine femininity and your nurturing, and who have held you close and said, you know what, baby, this is what you need to do. Those elder sisters who done cursed you out when you ain't been doing what you're supposed to be doing. Love on those mamas and honor them, and thank the universe for continuously blessing you with mamas in your life. Honor your mamas. Okay, now step 4. So step 1, go through the grieving process. Step 2, honor your mother for what she did for choosing you and for whatever gems she did drop in your life. Step 3, honor your mamas, those women that come into your life and nurture you and love on you and care for you. Step 4, honor our universal mother. Honor our universal mother. Yemeya, Yemoja. honor her, love her. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Yemeya, Yemoja, whichever term or whichever name that you may choose to use, that is our universal Orisha mother. That is the mother nature. She is the mother who birthed the Orishas. She is the supreme nurturer, the supreme mother nature being, the nature nurturer. She is the person who is in charge of it all. She birthed it all. She birthed Oya, Oshun, she birthed our Orisha, so we must love on her and honor her because she nurtures us daily. If it was not for her, we would not have plants, we would not have vegetables. Our animals would not be able to drink and feed off the land and drink the water. We would not have the oceans and the seas. We would not be able to turn on a faucet and water runs. We would not be here. So honor Mother, Queen, Yemeya, the mother of all Orisha. We must honor her in ways that we can honor her. You can put out a white or blue, or a 7 African powers candle to honor Yemeya. Another thing that you can put out is seashells. Something else that you can put out in her honor is food offering. Something else you can put out in her honor is sand. There are multiple ways that you can honor Yemeya. You can just simply say thank you. When you turn on that faucet, when you run that shower, just bathe yourself in her waters and say thank you. Go to a beach, say thank you, honor her, feed her, coconut, anything that you can, anything you could bring, she will accept. Once it comes out of love and come from your heart, she know what it is, okay? So honor the Queen Mother, Yemeya, Yemoja, whatever term, whichever name you may use, honor her and thank her. If you just want to say Mother Nature, okay, honor her and thank her because we are all mothered. So even in times where you may feel like a motherless child, something you have to do is remember that you got mamas. And then you got the Queen Mother who is nurturing you and who is holding on to you and who is loving you and caring for you. So your mother chose you. But even if that's all she ever did, you got a plethora of mamas and the Queen Mother who has done the rest and will continue to do the rest as long as you thank the universe for them and you honor them and acknowledge them for all that they have done. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful, family. In the comments, please just honor your mother, whether your mother transitioned and passed on. Your mother that you want to honor is Yemeya, Yemoja, or if the mother that you want to honor is one of your mamas, one of your friends' mamas, your cousin mama, whoever mom, your aunties, the professors, your teachers, a stranger who came into your life and rescued you, even if it was just for a brief moment. Just honor them and just say thank you and give gratitude. So once again, move through those 4 steps in your own time. If you know somebody who is a motherless child, please check on them, send them a text message, or give them a phone call, anything. But just check on them and let them know that you got their back and that you're here to support them. Send them a little text message or something. Just send them some love and some light because trust me, they probably need it. Even if they don't respond because they may be in that grief process, they probably need it, okay? Share this video with them. But this is just my guide and the steps that I use to thrive through those tough moments, whether it's Mother's Day or any moment. This is just the steps that I use that helps me thrive. I hope it's helpful, family. Peace and light. Much love. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you. Peace.